Hey everyone, this is Rocky and thanks for clicking on my video. I hope everyone had a happy holiday for those that celebrated Christmas, and those that didn't, I hope you've had a great week regardless. And just as a reminder, Constantine will be coming back on January 16th at a earlier time slot of 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. I just want to put a video together kind of talking about some ideas I have as far as the rising darkness and this Brujerian warlock cult that we learned was the rising darkness. So basically, in the last episode, the mid-season finale, we learned about this Brujerian cult that, like I said in that review, did tie back to the comics. They are related there. And, basically Constantine made the connection that they are the rising darkness that he's been hearing about, as they were supposed to have died out during the Great Flood, as they've been around basically since the, dawn of creation, essentially. Highly, highly powerful warlocks. And Constantine's very fearful of this, as he has no magic. As far as he knows, no one has any magic to be able to counteract these warlocks' abilities. Now, these warlocks have been in hiding. Now they're growing bolder and making a move. So this brings up the question to me, who's actually going to be behind these warlocks? The obvious choices right now is that it's going to be either the First of the Fallen or Nergal. Now, that's going off just, Hellblazer comics. Now, as this is encompassed by the larger DC universe, it could be something else. It's kind of going to be dependent on how exactly the part 2 of this episode goes, because we do know in the teaser that they've shown that John basically allows himself to be possessed by demons. So a lot of answers are going to come from that as far as which demon he's actually allowing to possess him. Is it going to be Pazuzu, since he has the amulet of him? Is it going to be Nergal? Is it going to be some other random demon? Like I said, that's going to answer a lot of questions right there. It's going to bring up a lot more as well, but it's going to give us some more answers. I mean, they could almost play off a twist of the Dangerous Habits arc in the comics, where John basically works out a deal and promises his soul to 2 different Lords of Hell. And when it comes time basically for him to die, the First of the Fallen comes and realizes that if he allows John to die, or if they allow John to die, there's going to be a war in hell over his soul, because neither side's going to want to back down. And that's just going to give more fuel to, heaven, basically, to attack hell. So those Lords of Hell make the decision to basically cure John of his cancer. So, I mean, like I said, they could twist it and kind of use this arc as that, John promises his soul to one of these Lords of Hell, and they, give him basically the power to, get out of the situation as far as getting away from this Ivaunche demon. And, we'll see where the next episode takes us. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think it's just we're going to be getting the simplicity of him inviting a demon in. I do think it's going to be Nergal, just because of that connection he has with him. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a tough decision, because remember back in the last episode with Papa Midnight, John made that, statement of not wanting to allow any other power to get inside of him, basically. And in this case, it looks like he's definitely going to be inviting something to come in. So, like I said, to give some more background on this Brujerian warlock cult, in the comics, like I said in my last review, they were basically working to awaken the primordial darkness that existed before God brought light into existence. The arc in the comic dealt heavily with Swamp Thing, the Spectre, and a bunch of other DC magical beings. Now, I get the feeling they are going to play off this primordial darkness, but I don't think they're going to bring in Swamp Thing yet. I want them to, like a lot of you guys have talked about, and we've talked about over on the Facebook forums and all over the place. Everyone wants to see the Swamp Thing. It would be awesome to see him. I don't think it's going to happen yet. If that does happen, I don't think it would be till like season 2, maybe season 3. And at this point, we still haven't received that confirmation of a season 2 yet. But What I think is going to happen is that they are going to play off that primordial darkness, but I think what it's going to be is that this cult is working to awaken a great dark being, or like an ancient demon, ancient god, something like that, that's going to assist them in breaking down that wall between hell and earth. The reason I think this would be a great opportunity for the show to bring in one of those higher powered like DC magical villains. Ideally, I'd love to see them bring in, like a Lord of Chaos. Particularly since we know they have the Helmet of Fate, and he's a representative of the Order of the Light Order, Order of Light, Lords of Order. So it would be a great opportunity to bring in a Lord of Chaos. In particular, I would really love if they adapted the Clarion character, who was a Lord of Chaos in the Young Justice animated series. The reason I think he'd be a great villain for John is he's very powerful. Like I said, he's a Lord of Chaos, or at least represented as a Lord of Chaos in that show. But he's depicted as essentially a young child, like early teens kind of. And this would be great for Constantine, because Constantine has this issue with kids that we've seen, as a result of the botched exorcism with Astra, as well as the child that was possessed earlier in this season, how he had to work through that inner emotions. Now imagine if he had to face off against a child that was more powerful than him in magic. How is he going to face a villain like that? Is he going to go head on? Is he going to be reluctant because, it appears as a child? So like I said, he would be an awesome character. It'd be really great if they brought in someone like Faust. But again, I just think they're going to bring in some darker DC magical character as kind of a bigger villain for John to face. Again, they're going to be working towards, breaking down that wall between hell and earth. Now, I don't think they're going to actually invoke like this primordial darkness. That gets a little abstract in the comics. Basically, in the comics, it takes, all these different characters like teach this primordial darkness some aspect of like fear, evil, revenge, resentment, things like that. And in the end of that arc, basically this primordial darkness merges with God into a unified being. So like I said, I don't think they're going to completely play up their route, because it would just get very abstract and might throw some people off. So I think they're going to use this cult to bring about some powerful being. I mean, it could very well be that they're just going to bring forth the first of the fallen through the veil between hell and earth, so that he can actually walk the earth. I don't know. There's lots of areas they could go. Like I said, I really hope they do bring in some more of those DC characters. Some of those may be a little bit more recognizable, so a bit more approachable for the televised audience. So again, we get those higher ratings, we get that season 2, and we get those future payoffs like they've been working towards. So that's my theory, is that they're going to work towards bringing forth some ancient evil. And I'm also thinking that either this cult itself or this ancient evil is going to be what's going to be responsible for the death of Jim Corrigan and him coming back as a Spectre. I do think we're going to get that lead into the Spectre by the end of this season. So they've teased it already. So I think maybe in the season finale we may see, the death of Corrigan. And I think it's, like I said, going to be a direct result of either this cult or whatever it is that they're trying to awaken. Again, they're going to set up a lot that they're going to try and complete at least most things by the end of the season, just in case we don't get a second season. But I think they're going to leave enough openings to where we have a bigger arc, hopefully for season 2, because at this point we're only going to get 5 more episodes a season, so that gives them very little room to work with. So that's my theory, is that this cult is going to bring about a dark entity that's going to be a very powerful DC magical character, and that either that character or the cult itself is going to be responsible for Corrigan's death and thus the birth of the Spectre. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this theory? What's your theory about this rising darkness? Are there any dark DC characters that you would love to see Constantine go up against? Put all that information down below as well, and if you have any questions, about any of the characters I've talked about or any of the ideas, put those down in the comments below as well. I'll be happy to discuss that information with you. So like I said, Constantine is coming back on January 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, so about 2 hours earlier than it was before. So it's basically going to be leading off Grimm as opposed to following Grimm. So if you've enjoyed my video, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up, share the video, and please subscribe to my channel, as I will be doing weekly reviews of Constantine, as well as the other Marvel and DC television shows once they come back on. If you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on board, and do hope you're enjoying the videos. All that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day now. Bye!